Hello guys, what is going on? Son of Chelsea back here again for my rational perspective on Chelsea 2, Everton 0. Chelsea masterfully beat Everton tonight in a big game, and Kai Havertz has finally arrived in the Premier League. A big performance personally for him, winning Chelsea the game effectively tonight. Should have had a goal as well. I thought he was wonderful tonight. So many of Tuchel's big decisions paid off as well. The ease at which Chelsea won that game tonight was so impressive to me. You could argue this is his most impressive victory so far as Chelsea head coach, because I think for two reasons: the amount of changes he made to this team, and the team in an important game in the top four race against a dangerous opponent didn't lack fluidity, confidence or rhythm, which was really impressive. And as well, how we basically shut down Everton's biggest threats, with the exception of one moment, which was through Richarlison in the second half at 1-0. It's a key moment, yeah, but he misses the chance, completely nullifying Dominic Calvert-Lewin, one of the deadliest forwards in this league. And I felt he's been so impressive as a focal point for Everton this season. Chelsea at the end were just cruising. They really were. I thought our game management, the subs that came on like Mason Mount and Kante really helped in that aspect too defensively. I think all of that back five, and as well Jorginho too, I think were really impressive tonight in the way they shut down Everton in space, not allowing them any space to breathe really, and Chelsea demoralising Everton to frustration at the end. You know, Everton didn't really know what to do in those final 10 minutes, and it's testament to Chelsea, a Chelsea side that has been very uncertain in recent seasons. A really certain performance tonight, and that's so impressive in the early days of Thomas Tuchel, the defensive shape and structure he's added to this team. That yeah, sure, I think next season will maybe need a little bit more flair and expression to maybe go up the pitch a little bit more, but I think at the moment we're getting big results and we look so assured at the back there. That wasn't the case a few months ago, and I think that's so impressive. We've only conceded one goal to an opposition player, and that's Minamino against Southampton. And when you look at the run of games we've just had, Man United, Liverpool, Everton, 3 big games, and the way the team has come through that unscathed, undefeated, without conceding any goals, 7 points as well. It's big for Chelsea, it really is, and for Thomas Tuchel. I was a little bit surprised the amount of changes he made. So looking at it, Zuma, Cover, Alonso, Havertz and Cho in for Mount, Kante, Chilwell, Rudiger and Ziyech. I think there were some raised eyebrows for Mount being out of the team. I wasn't too surprised about Kante, given Tuchel's comments about his fitness recently. I think not only it's easy in hindsight now with the win, the 2-0 win and a big win for Tuchel, but I also felt pre-game that we're looking towards Leeds on Saturday, a high energy game against the pressing side where you need players with energy like Mason Mount and N'Golo Kante in the centre of the park. So I fully expect them to be starting on Saturday, especially Mason, who plays so much football at 22 years old. It's good to give him a rest, and it was great to see that the player, I guess you'd argue the player that came in for him, or two of the players that came in for him, Kai Havertz and Carlo Ancelotti especially, really influenced the game, especially Kai Havertz. A massive night for him personally. We'll get into him because I think the whole false nine concept and sort of thinking about it working in Tuchel's team so far. I've personally said I put up a video on Saturday from my podcast with Jay McIntosh, the Every Other Saturday one, which we're going to be uploading our second episode tomorrow, so please stay tuned for that. We spoke about the false nine, and for me personally, under Thomas Tuchel so far, I think it's looked the most fluid, the most dangerous. I think in the possession-based system he's going for, positional play, I think it just seems to work more than a natural forward. In the short term, it's working. How it works next season with potential transfer targets in the summer, we have to wait and see. But I think for Kai to play that role tonight, and it's so impressive, not only fitting into the team, but you have to understand with the sharpness, intelligence, and influence of that performance tonight from a player who's had injury problems, given probably the mental side of the game this season, his confidence probably taken a hit, obviously, since joining from Leverkusen. To come in tonight in a big Premier League game and perform like that, it just shows the quality of this player, and it's a big night personally for him. And I also think for Tuchel to see that a false nine type system, a player like Kai can operate in that role, like for Leverkusen, and that may be his role at least for the short term. It really worked a treat tonight. Everton struggled to deal with his movement in the first half, the way he moved in and out of space, the way he was intelligent to get in between the lines, link up play with the likes of Callum Hudson-Odoi and Timo Werner as well, especially Callum. Those two I think linked up well, should have had a goal. Just before I get into the goals themselves, I think Kai of course should have had a goal. I don't know what the handball rule is anymore. It seems to change week to week, game to game. I don't know what it means anymore. The handball rule, it seems to be making it up as they go along, the Premier League officials. I mean, it's just such a shame because it was a brilliant ball chipped from Callum on the left tonight, who I felt had a good game, and Kai taking it down on his chest and finishing it wonderfully as well. And it's a bit of a shame that Kai doesn't have a goal tonight. But if you watch the game, his influence in it was massive. And of course, there's some debate over that first goal too. Is it going wide? Is it not going wide? But it shows you this player's influence in this system. And it's a big night for Tuchel as well to put Kai in here and it works so wonderfully, because it could have gone wrong. Kai may have had an off night given how little football he's actually had, but the quality of the players shone through, and I think he'll get more minutes in the coming games as Chelsea have some big games in the run into the season. It really is, and I think wonderful to see Kai flourish in the blue tonight. But yeah, I think game management all round was really impressive from Chelsea tonight. Just the way they held Everton at arm's length, basically not allowing them to get in front of our goal that much. Mendy having a very quiet night with the exception of that Richarlison chance. I think the quality, the form, the momentum of this team, you expect Everton to at least get one or two chances against us, but really they were so limited, and Chelsea looked like they were going to be decided to get the second goal, and luckily it finally came through the penalty spot. Jorginho scoring once again, and I think Jordan Pickford too had a good night in goal for Everton. I mean, Marcus Alonso had that chance in the first half that was well saved. He made a couple of good stops in the second as well. I think Marcus Alonso, a curling ball, Callum Hudson-Odoi had to tip that over the bar as well, but he gives away the penalty. Kai Havertz, wonderful movement, but I also think Mateo Kovacic deserves a lot of praise for that ball. I do get a little bit frustrated with Jorginho and Kovacic at times when they have the ball, and the likes of Timo Werner, and tonight it was Kai Havertz, make those charging runs in between defenders, and you want them to play that ball. They do have the quality to play it, and Mateo Kovacic deserves a lot of praise for that cutting ball that allows Kai Havertz to run through. Very intelligent, takes it round Pickford, wins the penalty. Jorginho scores it 2-0, and from there Chelsea just cruised to the end. I do think the only negative is for me Timo Werner tonight. All round, I think his play could have been better, and I think he should have scored 2 goals. I think he should have scored at least one of them. I think the first one, because you felt at that time when Chelsea were 2-0 up, cruising, sat a little bit deeper, you felt, N'Golo Kante came on, Mason came on, and were sort of inviting Everton onto us a little bit more to then expose them on the counter. You think this is the moment for Timo to flourish. He gets 2 chances, 2 really good opportunities, one-on-one with Pickford, and he needs to finish at least one of them for me. And I do think with the first one, he has so much time there, he really rushes it, and I do question if Tammy Abraham is missing either of those chances. I can only imagine the stick he gets. I'm not trying to ever go at Timo. I don't try and ever go at any of the players. Obviously, he's going through a rough patch, but I think that for me, Timo needs to be finishing those opportunities, because Chelsea, if it's 3 or 4-0, the game's done. It looks even more impressive, and that's the way he's going to get his confidence in front of goal back up. He's still putting himself in really good positions, but I just think his finishing could have been better in those 2 moments for me. Pickford had a really strong night in goal, but for me, that's the only real negative of tonight. Other than that, I think most players were flawless. I think Reece James, brilliant. The back three of Dave, once again, flawless. Christensen too. Christensen just goes from strength to strength. He really does in terms of his focus, in terms of his possession, the way he takes the ball out from the back, but also I think his recovery runs too. There was a moment one-on-one with Richarlison in the first half that he needed to get right. He got it absolutely spot on. Timing of the tackle was perfect. He's in a defence now. There were some things about Christensen in the past that he was involved with defences that conceded a lot of goals. That's not the case now. He's involved in a back three that's not conceding any goals and barely conceding any chances, and Christensen deserves credit. And there's been so much rumours in recent days about a new contract for him. Not that surprising. He's flourishing at the moment. He's really in form. And also I want to give a mention to Kurt Zouma. Kurt Zouma got criticism for the Minamino goal against Southampton when he was playing in the middle of a back three. At the time I said I don't think that's the role for him. On the left of a back three, he looks much more comfortable because he's much more comfortable in a back four. So I think on that left side, if he's going to play in this back three under Tuchel, at least for now, I think as one of the two alongside, say, Christensen or Thiago Silva. Thiago was back on the bench tonight. But a wonderful night, it really was. And we move on now to Leeds, a big game once again. And you look at the run of games that Chelsea have post the international break. I think we've got the Atletico game, which is huge. The Sheffield United game in the FA Cup, which for me is huge because Chelsea have a wonderful opportunity to win a trophy with Thomas Tuchel at the end of this season to get into the last four of the FA Cup once again. But post the international break, you look at some of those games where Chelsea can even gain more confidence and momentum. They're doing so well at the moment. You really can't moan as a fan. You know, where we were in January, how low we felt in January, and what Tuchel has done in a short space of time has been really impressive. He deserves so much credit, especially defensively, especially in midfield. The lack of transitions now with this team, the way we defend with the ball in possession, the way Jorginho and Kovacic are thriving currently, the way he's rotating players in and out, bringing players in from the cold that are performing well. The squad seems a lot more happier. And you can't complain about the results. Chelsea are in a prime position now to finish in the top 4 and maybe even third or second. Of course, Man United got a brilliant win yesterday, but I think Leicester are catchable with the injury problems and form problems they have. Chelsea just need to, the cliche goes, one game at a time. But at the moment, really happy, and it's great to see Kai Havertz back in the team and flourishing. And hopefully this is a big night personally for him in his Chelsea career. But that is my review for tonight's game. Let me know yours in the comments below. Thank you guys so much as ever for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and a notification bell so you never miss an upload. We'll be back tomorrow with more videos surrounding Chelsea FC, and I'll see you again.